Salisbury Rugby.
Done it once, do it again.
For decades.
Hey, communication. When you're on the defensive line, talk to the guy next to you, talk to the guy left, talk to the guy to the right. Let them know where you're going, they know where they're going, all right? We all know where we're going. They can't go nowhere, bro.
Shoulders should be right. Hit them low. They can't go anywhere without their legs, boy.
Nothing better than you hit his fucking mouth. You show him who's the fucking man. It's time to fucking eat.
And we keep it fucking live on the sideline. Hungry on the sideline. It's time to eat, Sark. Yeah, it's time to eat. It's time to eat. It's time to eat.
Hey, we don't fucking one shoulder, you hit with the other. We don't fuck around today, boys.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yes. 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 Yes! Yes!
Minnesota-Duluth.
Welcome back, everybody, to Furman University, where we have the USA Rugby Men's Division II semifinals. This is the second semifinal of the day. We've just seen University of Wisconsin-Whitewater advance to the final, and now it is time for Minnesota-Duluth to face up with Salisbury in this second semifinal. I'm Alex Goff from Goff Rugby Report with USA Rugby coaching instructor, educator, Katie Wurst, and Minnesota-Duluth coming in defending champions with a really tough forward pack. Connor Gleason, transfer from American International. Lars Anderson, their two-time All-American prop, leading this team. And Salisbury in the yellow and red stripes against Minnesota-Duluth. And Salisbury makes the first break right off the bat, shows their intentions to attack. And the kick ahead. Excellent cover chase by Salisbury. They didn't get the ball back, but now Minnesota is starting from well within their 22. Penalty against Duluth, against Salisbury for not releasing the tackled player.
That was the number 10, Mike Mullins, there on that great break. Really starting off Salisbury on the front foot here.
And Salisbury has, they're lucky to get Michael Mullins, their fly half back after an injury. Blake Carroll, also carrying an injury, is back, and that's a crucial halfback combination that they need. And then Scott Wheeler there, number 8, wearing number 19, in fact, is a powerful runner for them. And so Duluth, you got to look at their second rows. Gleason and Teddy Buntrock. Buntrock was a huge part of their championship team last year. The kick downfield from Trace Bolstad. It's a deep one. The chase is there. Salisbury kicks it back with interest, and that's their fullback, Nicholas Rodriguez. Tanaka and they try to kick it. He's charged down and charged through the dead ball line, so it will be, in fact, it ends up being a penalty to Duluth for offsides. And the kick to touch, just barely getting over, but it's enough for a line out for Duluth just near halfway. Duluth has been in the final 3 times in a row. Remember that the Division II finals switched from spring to fall, so in 2013 it was held twice. These two teams played both times. Salisbury won in the spring of 2013, Duluth won in the fall of 2013, and then Duluth repeated as champions last fall, beating Whitewater in the final. And the Fighting Penguins, they know how to run, they know how to tackle, and there's a break from Austin Heckerl. See how aggressive they are in clearing out in that ruck. Anderson, the prop. Oh, now looking to use DeRoche. Straight out to Logan Hansen. Oh, dancing around with those neon boots of his. Shiny, shiny neon boots. Bolstad. Who does he have with him? And still Salisbury defends. Bolstad again. Quickly getting to that first receiver position. So close now, the Penguins are. A pick and drive. Nice tackle. See Salisbury get in position. And Wilson almost over there. Looked like he was there, but referee. And it is a try. Wilson was there. And it is a try for Duluth. And just like that, 4 minutes in, Minnesota-Duluth leads.
Duluth so good at striking early too. Trace Bolstad, it's almost like he just materializes into position. He was from one position, he came back. Just a great distributor of the ball. Wilson in the right place, getting the job done.
Referee John Stevens, actually my roommate this weekend in Furman, so I'll say nothing but nice things about him. What he examined, talked to his assistant referee, as a good referee does, gets those extra eyes on it and calls the try.
If you like this, we've got more national championship action. It's headed to the south at Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina. They're going to host 60 of the best collegiate rugby sevens programs at College Sevens on Memorial Day weekend. You can learn more at usarugby.org.
And the kick is away, and so 5-0 for Duluth. And just like with the last game, Katie, this is at a frenetic pace, and the physicality is a huge part of it. Both teams wanting to send a message.
Certainly Duluth just amping it up, going from the beginning, just like the start. And Whitewater probably anxiously tuning in to see who's going to be the victor of this important contest.
DeRoche takes it up, sets it up. Bolstad now looking to get his backs involved. It's Hetcherl. Bolstad again, out to Hansen. Trying to offload it to Petrushka, but it's gone loose. Salisbury finally gets the ball back, and I think they really haven't had any attacking ball yet in the Duluth half. Salisbury is the only non-conference winner in this Final Four. They finished runner-up to Towson, losing that Potomac Conference Final 13-10. Towson lost to Whitewater earlier today. But Salisbury has probably been in more national Final Fours in Division II than any team here. And they've won a couple. Remember seeing them win in 2004. Just extremely impressive performance that year. And the Sharks against the Penguins.
And this Duluth team as well, just stacked with great players that we've seen from all different ages and levels, have a number of national championship experienced individuals. They're also missing two quality flankers and two of the team's best tacklers in Dan Rebell and Bryce Lanhart. One was an torn ACL injury.
That's tough. The Northern Lights champions, Minnesota-Duluth. Golf Rugby Report has had them ranked #1 all through the fall. They haven't done anything to make us doubt that. Ball coming out for Salisbury. Mullins. Nicely passed out by Carroll. Clear up Patrick Mullins in there as well. Penalty in from the side against Duluth. And the penalty's right in front of the post, about 24 meters away. And so immediately the choice is to go for points. And that'll be Blake Carroll, the senior from Eldersburg, Maryland. And again, like a lot of these Division II schools, this is a local college. Most of these players are from Maryland. Salisbury is in Maryland. Most of the players from Minnesota-Duluth are from Minnesota. Like one player from Wisconsin, maybe two. The wind has died down. It's been very windy most of the day, but it's been dying down as the sun is starting to set. The kick is up. It is good. It's a beautiful kick. In fact, he could have got that over from midway. So 5-3. Minnesota-Duluth leads Salisbury as they get their first points.
Good decision there to go for the points early. We talked about last game how Towson maybe could have been done a bit better to make those early decisions to kick for those extra points. And really, it seems as if Salisbury is listening, and taking note, and making a good decision.
Good gather by Jimmy Gasper. And he forces all sorts of players to try and bring him down. Mullins to Mullins, out to the left wing. Caffrey kicks ahead. It rolls into touch. And Salisbury seems to kick more than most of the teams we've seen so far today. Certainly that's been part of their character for many years, to kick and to chase it down.
I mentioned Gasper in on that play. Sometimes used as an impact sub as well. He can either play center or as a loose forward. He's actually starting here at 13.
Sam Freeman's throw for Duluth is not straight. Buntrock won it, but he won it with the outside arm. And it really wasn't straight, so it'll be a scrum to Salisbury. And this will be an interesting battle, too, how these two tight fives especially match up. As I said, Duluth has an excellent back row of Buntrock and Gleason. Pack's very low. And a good shove on from Salisbury. Second shove from Duluth, but it's too late. Mullins to Mullins, fakes the switch, gets it out to Martin, but not controlled, brought backwards. And you saw there the play, trying to do a little bit of a loop fake switcheroo Alabama crisscross play, and bringing in Matt Martin, the fullback, into the line, but didn't quite go to hand.
Just got a bit fancy there, and Nick Rodriguez was the one making the errant pass, just got spun around. Rugby was one of 6 sports that he played in high school. He's played football, basketball, baseball, soccer, and track. So a great multi-sport athlete. We talked about with the Olympic Games coming up in 2016, so many different athletes tuning in, trying to check out the sport.
Zach Schwartz not able to control it. DeRoche wasn't able to control it either. Taken very nicely by Blake Carroll. Salisbury has taken it back. Spun out quickly. Mullins, and that would be Patrick Mullins, gathers it as it rolls past Mike Mullins. Slow to dig it out. Salisbury again doing well to get a little bit past the gain line each time. They look so confident going into contact. And that's Mike Mullins keeping it, but he loses it, and it's a loose ball, and that will be a gift try for Minnesota-Duluth. And that's Logan Hansen, the number 13, the outside center. And there was just an attack that was slowly, methodically getting put together by Salisbury, and then just a turnover.
Coach Jeremy Kachuba describes Logan Hansen as the emotional leader of this team too, and you saw his excitement. He touched the ball down, jumped in the air, arms outstretched, ready to just kind of embrace his teammates and say, let's get this going right now. We've seen some really good contest in the tackle, a lot of physical work that Salisbury's been putting in here. And this can certainly take the wind out of their sails.
Well, you can see the kind of celebration that says, look at me, and there's the kind of celebration that says, hey, look at us. And it really, you saw that Hansen stopped, turned around, and looked at his teammates saying, hey, look what we just did. So it was all a bit a function of that team defense. So Duluth goes up 10-0 with Bolstad's kick to come. And the kick is up. And it is good, straight down the middle. 12-3, Minnesota-Duluth leads. And this is a very tough, physical, fighting Penguins team. Very difficult to chase after. So Salisbury has to get back in the game quickly. They cannot afford to be several scores down.
Bolstad making good on that conversion. Also from Hopkins, Minnesota, along with another number of other players, including Tanaka, Herschel as well. A great high school program there too, part of the Minnesota Youth Rugby conglomerate.
Restarting for Salisbury. Elijah Hyman, he's the prop. Don't get a lot of props doing the kicking, but this is a sophomore. He's had 9 years of rugby experience. He's a sophomore in college. So that's probably why he's kicking. It's probably at some point he tried to talk somebody into making him a fly half. And certainly been around the rugby ball a lot.
We've seen so many of these young players, freshmen, sophomores on all of these Division II teams that are contributing starting right away early on due to their youth rugby experience.
Caffrey, Rodriguez for Salisbury. Rodriguez punches that grubber down, and I think he was hoping to get that into the corner, but in the end it rolls dead, and it'll come back for a scrum from where he kicked it.
Rodriguez, as we said, the multi-sport athlete, an exercise science major, along with a number of his other teammates. Really studying an area where you get to talk about physical fitness, helps, very beneficial if you're going to be playing one of the most physically demanding sports.
And so Zach Schwartz will put it in for Duluth.
Referee Steers giving a great high volume cadence there. Much
Out it goes.
appreciated.
Bolstad has it, pops it into the inside center. Here's Heckerl, and then Bolstad gets the return pass and a high kick. I'm not quite sure where that was going, but it is recovered, knocked forward by Salisbury. So a scrum down to Duluth, and they made about 5 meters in that whole movement. I think Bolstad wanted a little bit more distance on that kick to chase under it.
Bolstad described by Coach Kachuba as one of the field leaders and a major playmaker. We saw him just carve up defenses last year in the championship final. Really a player that plays with so much finesse, great decision maker as well.
Long-legged, rangy kind of player. Just a couple of steps and he can get through a gap. They're going to send it, skip it, and send it out to Hansen, the try scorer. Now pop inside and the loser. What a huge hit on Tony Wilson. Loosens the ball. Salisbury gets it back. Mullins to Mullins, a fake.
That was Herschel able to hold on, get the ankle tap tackle.
And another kick ahead by Salisbury. But Duluth is handling those just fine at the moment. And Petrushka put into touch. And you look at this kind of physicality that they're dealing with. Big hit, turnover, and eyes open, hands ready. Really nice to be able to take that and make that into something.
We talked a bit about Minnesota-Duluth's pathway to get here in terms of taking the Northern Lights playoff finals there. Really what the best competition they had was Winona State's men's team. And the final was 64-0. we saw earlier Winona State's women's team here as well, competing well.
Demetrio took that line out. Very nice ball from Salisbury. Now it goes to ground. Now they're going to use it. And again, big hits. Gasper, captain of the Fairfield Rugby Club in high school, and a big hit, but offside is Duluth, and a penalty right in front of the post. And once again, they're going to point to the sticks and go for it. And here's another massive hit. You see that Gasper is...
that was Randy Tanaka there for Duluth, taking the brunt of that go-forward play. He's a team president of the Duluth Fighting Penguins.
Well, Duluth went through the last 2 rounds of the playoffs. They gave up a grand total of 6 points, a penalty to Grand Valley State, and a penalty to Lindenwood Belleville, and that is all they've given up. And still, they have not given up a try in this game yet either. And the kick is up, and no good, right in front of the post, but he kind of aimed it. Blake Carroll would like that one back. He didn't really follow through on that, so 22 dropout for Minnesota-Duluth. Bolstad gets his players ready, and a big deep kick. Taken by Mullins. That would be Mike Mullins. Sends it out to Gasper. Oh, there's going to be a cut back inside. This is a big run. This is going to work out just fine for the Sharks. Can they show their teeth now? Down on the line, wriggling through. And look how quick Duluth is to get back on the line. We talked about them not giving up tries. Can they hold the line now? Slow ball. Salisbury, pick. The drive forward again. Remember, if it's on the ground and against the post, that's a try too. Referee's right on it. And the pick and the drive. That might have been Etim Ayo. And again, another surge over the line. They're making just fractions of inches.
Duluth digging deep defensively here.
Meeting them right at the point of contact, right at the tackle line. And finally a penalty against Duluth, not releasing the tackle player. And with the penalty, Salisbury is chosen to get Carroll the tee and go for another penalty. What do you think about that one, Katie? Because they were right on the line, about as close as you could be.
What I think a good indication is to look at Duluth and their excitement to see that they're going for points, really. So probably a tough one, but it might actually be a better decision. It might pay off later if they get the points on the board. Duluth's up a bit. I would say go for it, really.
Well, the big break that we saw showed Salisbury's ability to get through the Duluth line from long range. There's the kick. It's up and it's good. 12-6. It makes it a 1-score game. So it is smart, patient, confident choices by Salisbury, saying we're not going to panic. We realize it's only 12-3. We can make it 12-6 with a kick. Not a problem. So even missing that previous kick attempt, they kept the pressure on and eventually netted their 3 points. We're midway through this first half here in this semifinal. USA Rugby semifinal with Minnesota-Duluth leading 12-6 over Salisbury. Minnesota-Duluth in blue, Salisbury in yellow and red. And another break. Salisbury know they can run on this team now. Quickly out, Mullins. Hands, 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 Rodriguez. Out to Caffrey. Caffrey is brought down by DeRoche. The ball not coming out, and DeRoche was there, ready to poach the ball, and they tried to get under him, and they ended up going down straight on the ball. That's a penalty.
Matt Martin was in on that tackle as well, too.
And there's the kick to touch. Line out for Duluth.
Duluth really breathing a bit easier after that intense goal line stand. Salisbury so dialed in there. And Duluth did a great job of really just shearing up the post defense to keep him out. Wasn't much you could do really to give away that penalty.
Well, the wind had died down, but suddenly it has really picked up, and you saw the wind actually catch that throw, send it off not straight. Salisbury calls for their line out, which is an interesting call. But that works out fine. They like their maul, and they've got the maul going. But down it goes to the ground. So Mullins feeding his brother. And back out Rodriguez. Look at Rodriguez take it at pace. But the offload is lost. Bouncing around, it ends up being knocked forward. It was almost intercepted by, I think that was Clifford Petrushka over there on the right wing for Duluth, and had that gone to hand, that might have been another turnover try.
He was certainly anticipating where the pass was going to be made. Just skipped it over the fingertips.
So cutting out those passing lanes on defense. That's what they're trying to get, those offloads. Everybody's seen the New Zealand style of trying to get those quick offloads out of the tackle, especially when you're near the sideline. So of course you start to defend against that. Carroll puts it in. The shove by Duluth, but they get it out. Mullins to Gasper. There it is. Wheeler. Look again, hoping to get it to Demetrio, but can't quite get the offload going. It goes now.
Salisbury really working hard for the extra inches here.
Mullins again. He's got Rodriguez with him. And a nice flat ball. Had a little bit of a snappy pass, and Caffrey couldn't get the handle, but Rodriguez has been really dangerous slotting into that line, and they're going to continue to use him. Great flat ball from Mike Mullins.
Rodriguez, great line breaker, just working to try to make sure he can get an efficient pass in the offload. The second one that he missed just slightly, little miscue, largely due to maybe nerves of this playoff situation here.
Well, going off the field, Etim-Ayo, Prince Etim-Ayo, and he subbed off, which is kind of a blow for Salisbury. That'll be tough for them. And so Duluth, they attack from within their 22. It's a risky proposition, but they get a penalty for not rolling away or using their hands in the ruck, using their hands on the ground. Working against the wind like this, you see, there's the kick from Zach Schwartz, and he tried to kick it forward, and I think he made 2 meters. He did make touch, though.
And Alex, as temperature starts to drop here, getting a bit colder, really no problem for Minnesota-Duluth as their first round of regionals. In the round of 16, they played against Grand Valley State in about 5 inches of snow. They came away with that win. It was 24-3, one of the closer contests.
Well, the snow might have had something to do with that, but it was snowy the next day too. Pretty crazy, and being up there on the shores of the big seawater, Lake Superior, you know something about wind and something about chilly conditions. Hansen trying to find a way, but Salisbury's up so quickly. And the big charge. And that's Connor Gleason, who was playing at AIC, transferred back to closer to his hometown of Neenah, Wisconsin.
Gleason, a high school and U20 All-American, great contributor. A great transfer pickup for this Fighting Penguin squad.
Oh, and there's just the quick hands. Looks so good, and then Martin tries the offload. It's loose, lost forward. Well, we really haven't seen Martin that much, but he has a ton of pace. And everyone starts worrying about Logan Hansen, and then he just catches it and passes it out to his fullback.
Salisbury starting to sort of solve the puzzle here in terms of how can they combat these great offloads and good supporting lines that they run. They're getting in the passing lanes at that moment, and that's what awarded them the scrum here.
An interesting opportunity on the weak side for Salisbury if they choose to take it. They are probably going to kick.
You see Bolstead kind of slide over there, saw that gap. Good decision, communicating to his other wing. Nice flat, stable platform there.
Carroll to Rodriguez, who does indeed kick it downfield, down the middle of the field. Martin is right under it, and boy does he have backs with him. Martin runs, tries to offload out of the tackle, might have passed a little bit earlier, would have worked out well. The hits are coming thick and fast and physical. And we have a penalty here, which I didn't quite see what the signal was on the penalty.
I think that was Heckerell just leaping in the air, trying to find some space he could get through it.
And we're having a discussion here.
The Salisbury fans going crazy at this point, trying to really urge their team on.
But instead, hoping that Heckerell stays on the field. And I think it's jumping the player will be the penalty. Dangerous play. You try and jump someone who is going down to tackle you, you run the risk of kicking them in the face. And that could be dangerous, so they should have a little bit of chat and say, you may not be aware. It's good refereeing. You may not be aware of this. That's dangerous. Please don't do that anymore.
Heckerell really just anticipating, couldn't find any space there. Really didn't have much more of an option. Very experienced athletes, played for the Minnesota high school select side. So communications major as well. I'm sure he used those skills to have a little chat and earn himself a place to stay here on the field. Always good to be able to be
skills.
Always great to be persuasive when you're having a little talk.
Well taken. Salisbury setting the maul once again. Minnesota had been thinking about sacking that ball carrier, but instead just set up a defense. Breaks loose. And it's the second maul set up. And the drive is just stymied by the Fighting Penguins. Not going anywhere. What can they do with it now, can the Sharks? Carroll digs it out. Mullins fakes, takes it himself. Out it comes again. That's the other Mullins. Patrick. Slow ball. And we're coming back for penalty.
Minnesota-Duluth appropriately named Fighting Penguins because defensively they have so much fight in them when they get down here to their defensive end.
The problem is in rugby, Penguins really don't wrap up in the tackle. And they don't kick very well because their legs are so short. But the tap and the go this time from Salisbury. Just piling up in the corner there. Another pick and drive. And the call. And it's a try. It is a try. They're looking for the pick and go. It was forwards everywhere. Student body left. And Salisbury gets that crucial try, making it 12-11 with the kick to come. And that was all about the forwards just punching it through.
You hear Salisbury's fans just erupting in cheers here for this one. Minnesota-Duluth, you see a lot of hands on hips, frustrated because they're really working as much as they can defensively, but they're just finding those weak points. Great effort there, but effort doesn't always equal the results they want.
got to decide whether to go for the poach or just defend and realign. And as Blake Carroll lines up this all-important kick, hopefully to put his side up front, but it is a low line drive. It's not high enough and it's not straight enough, and that will be 12-11 still. As you see once again, the forwards just going in, the pick and drive. One more pick and drive. And they don't quite make it, and one more surge over. Difficult to see who scored that. It might have been Etimeo who did make it back on the field. Salisbury has it again. Salisbury is asking questions of this Minnesota-Duluth defense. Rodriguez, the low kick, blocked by Freeman. Duluth, look at that. I can't remember the last time Duluth really had their hands on the ball in a good attacking position. Seems like a long time. High kick from Carroll. Under it is Tanaka. Well taken. Bolstad now using his backs. Heckerel. Again out, Bolstad skating out right. Schwartz, the scrum half, just working it continuously to the right side. Now they back they come to the left. Oh, what a massive hit! Just destructive hit. I think that was Gasper who took him down, but Duluth keeps it. There's step check.
Gasper that was a sledgehammer coming at him there.
I hope we get to see a replay of that one, because that was just beautiful. So Mullins going in now. You see Salisbury doesn't care. Salisbury has really improved through this year. They haven't had enough rugby, really. Too many forfeits, too many opponents not ready to play them. But they're peaking at the right time anyway. Rodriguez now, looking to use Gasper. Gasper dishes it off. A nice pass, but it couldn't get the handle. And I think that was the fly half. Mike Mullins, who wished he had it. And here comes that hit again. Breaking through. Oh, he thinks he's got it. And no, he does not. Just perfectly legal, wrapped up right around the midsection. And just tomahawked into the ground.
There's just great extension, full body extension into the tackle as well. Nice low.
And one
drive.
more look. Hello. Well, it's
Certainly
the hit
didn't.
of the day. We've seen a lot of good hits, but that's the hit of the day so far.
He's probably thinking no one got the number of that bus really that hit him. That was just rough.
So Schwartz at the back of the scrum for Duluth gets it out to Bolstad. Bolstad looking to use Hansen, but Hansen's a decoy. Instead it's out Martin, the fullback. He's got Tanaka with him. No room though. Martin cuts back. Nobody gets a hand on him. Martin still going. Has Petrushka with him. Stepjack as well in there. How close are they getting? DeRoche is there. And it's stolen, but it's stolen illegally by Salisbury. Now we're checking with the assistant referee on what the call is, but it looks like it's going to be a penalty against Salisbury. Maybe a little bit of a talk.
So much credit to Martin there too for trying to work with his support, communicating the entire way, and then he just stepped and really was so evasive in that position. He had support for days.
So offside is the call. They tap and go, do Duluth. DeRoche, big try scorer for them all season. DeRoche wriggles out of contact, and Luke DeRoche takes it in. Big try for Duluth, big cheer from their fans.
Great work by the co-captain there, too. Fantastic effort. A mechanical engineering student there from St. Paul, Minnesota.
Luke DeRoche is not the biggest number 8 you'll get, but he is difficult to bring down, and he just pushes his way out of contact and over. That's going to make it 17-11, and Bolstad still has the kick attempt to come. This has really been a great ball game. Both teams putting everything they have, especially into the point of contact. And Salisbury loves being underestimated. They've been underestimated many times before to opponents' peril as the kick goes over. A really nicely taken kick by Bolstad, but
Conversion by Carroll is good.
Minnesota-Duluth is not free and clear yet, not by a long shot.
Duluth 20, Salisbury 11.
Coach Kachuba talks about Luke DeRoche's just his role as this on-field vocal leader. Just so incredible in terms of getting go-forward ball. Does a great job there to finish it off.
Eli Hyman kicks it, and he kicks it far too far with the wind at his back. It's going to roll dead, and that, in fact, is second time we've seen that, and that'll be a scrum center for Duluth. And rugby fans and rugby coaches, here from national team coaches and top-level rugby administrators from around the world at the 2016 USA Rugby National Development Summit in San Francisco. Learn best practices at this can't-miss event the weekend of January 22nd. Register now at usarugby.org/NDS. NDS for National Development Summit. Get there. San Francisco, great city. Scrum down now. Schwartz is going to put it in for Duluth. DeRoche controls it. Carroll all over Schwartz. Shouldn't have been. DeRoche picks it up. He's already gone 20 meters. See how quick he is to his top speed. Martin, a little chip ahead. Into touch. And that'll be a line out for Salisbury. Not sure if the chip ahead there was going to work. Oddly, Duluth is not kicking out of their own 22, but they're happy to kick when they're inside the opponent's 22. So the crowd is loud. Salisbury fans, vocal. Made the drive down here to Furman, South Carolina. Nicely taken by Demetriou. And that'll be the first half. 19-11, Minnesota-Duluth leads Salisbury in a hugely physical, very, very entertaining first half. We will be back for the second half. This is Alex Goff with Katie Wurst at the USA Rugby Division II semifinals. Hey everybody, we are back here at the USA Rugby National Division II semifinals. Here, the second semifinal of the day. We're looking at highlights from the first half. Minnesota-Duluth against Salisbury. Salisbury in the yellow and red, and Katie Wurst. This is where Salisbury got that try that they really, really needed.
Just it's a game of inches right there, and here's that is exceptional hit that was put out there. But Duluth so quick to recycle to get back. Take a look at one more time.
We got to see that twice. Such a great one from Jimmy Gasper. And Minnesota-Duluth has been able to score more tries. They scored 3 tries. And here's a look at the third one as Luc DeRoche manages to get himself over for a try that turned a 1-point game into an 8-point game at 19-11. And certainly not out of the woods yet are the Minnesota-Duluth Fighting Penguins. And Salisbury has laid in some big hits. They've challenged them at the breakdown, and they like to use their kicking game. I'm not sure if the kicking game has really quite worked for them as much as they want at the moment.
Certainly with the wind kind of picking up at this stage too. It's late going in terms of now the sun's in. We switch fields here. We see Duluth got the sun in their eyes. It would actually be smart for Salisbury to put the ball up in the air and test them under those conditions.
Got up at 7 again.
Nice.
Definitely could see a few fumbled kicks with the sun. Low-angled winter sun that it is here at Furman University. Beautiful campus here in Greenville, South Carolina.
Such a great program here with a long history, especially at this men's Division II level. Such exceptional hosts here.
And always a team that is a candidate to be here at these semifinals. And here we are getting ready for the kickoff. I'm Alex Goff from GoffRugbyReport.com, and with USA Rugby coach educator Katie Wurst with our final game of the day. We have plenty of action tomorrow also with national finals for Women's Division II fall, Women's Division I fall, and of course this competition we're watching now, the Men's Division II Championship. The kick from Blake Carroll by Salisbury. Duluth recovers it. And Schwartz returns that with a box kick. And a little bit more kicking to go. Not a great kick there by Ryan Kuhn, but he chases it well. Hansen, who scored a terrific try in the first half, always asks more than one player to try and tackle him. Bolstad fakes and goes back inside. The fly half. Schwartz digs it up. Buntrock, almost flipped over, but well controlled was that tackle. Hansen again, look at the pace at which they're trying to play, trying to get that ball out of the breakdown, but it has been stolen by Salisbury. And in fact, a penalty against Duluth for going in from the side and trying to rescue that.
That was another elevator tackle there too by Salisbury. Such a great tackling team. We've seen some real good physicality by both sides.
And it doesn't seem to be an angry physicality. They know they're going to hit hard. Everybody's taking it in the spirit that this is a rugby game. They're not here just to shake hands, although shaking hands is nice. They're here to make their tackles. And so a line out now for Salisbury.
They're just tracking well into the tackle and then getting good shoulder contact and then the leg drive. Really making sure the tackle is a positive form of it, driving him back behind the gain line.
Scotty Wheeler getting ready to throw it in line out. He plays number 8, he wears number 19. And won by Salisbury, but not straight. And we've seen quite a few not straights in this game. There's a lot of height, and I think that's part of the issue, is that Gleason and Buntrock working together as jumper and lifter for Duluth means that you have to throw higher, loft it up more to get over them to win your line-out throw. And when the wind picks up, that could be a recipe for a not straight call. So Schwartz is going to put it in. I wonder if we'll see DeRoche pick it up and go weak.
Buntrock, another Minnesota Collegiate Select Side player, just uses that length that he has and height. Exceptional work there in the line out.
Schwartz has it, sends it out to Bolstad. He's going to use Hansen. Simple little cutback play. Bolstad again. And then that's a turnover for Salisbury. Once again, not enough work done by Duluth in the breakdown. Slowly coming out. Carroll has it. Mullins wants it. Gets out to his brother. Gasper now there. And lost forward. And really, those cold hands, we don't know what it is. Maybe just a little bit of over-anxious behavior. But Salisbury had that working just fine. And I'm not quite sure why they ended up dropping it, but they did.
Salisbury Sharks really adding a lot of bite to these rucks here, committing the players that they need, and really making Minnesota-Duluth kind of fight for any type of counter-rucking situation, which they're normally so good at. Get set for the scrum here. That's Blake Carroll putting the ball in. Oh, good shove here by Salisbury.
And a penalty, in fact, for boring in the scrum.
Likely why they had them go backwards.
That's
a little
true.
bit of a legal play there. It's often unfortunate when that happens, where they're driving them forward and they have them, and then they just either drop a shoulder or do something that brings to the attention of the match official. And John Stevens on the call there.
Well, the ball is won by Duluth now. Bolstad.
That was Buntrock again, recovering that line out. Beautiful work in the air all day.
Using Wilson now to try and make some ground. Another pick and go. Buntrock again. Gleason getting involved, clearing out. And out it comes. Bolstad to Hansen. Hansen just wrapped up. They've moved him to inside center. Not sure if that's the best place for him. Wilson again, trying to just keep it going a little bit forward.
Itamayo was on that great tackle, his former football player. It's his first year playing rugby.
DeRoche. And out we come again. Bolstad, big wide pass out to the wing. That's Tanaka. Tanaka goes in, and finally it worked. And they just were so patient, Katie, with their passing. We just did a couple of passes, take it in again until there was space out wide.
Really, you see Duluth make some adjustments in terms of the tempo in which they're playing too, and it's starting to work for them. They're regaining control in terms of how the game's being played for the second half, and a critical part for Tanaka to put some more points on the board so that they can further their lead. Also critical, Tanaka headed in towards the post as well too, to make that angle a little bit more forgiving for Bolstad for the conversion. Still fairly difficult kick.
You can see the urging from Connor Gleason, second row, saying let's keep going. Logan Hansen, same thing, let's keep doing it, follow that pattern. And when we hear coaches talk about pattern of play, as the kick from Bolstad goes up and the wind just takes it to the right of the post, so it stays 24-11. The pattern of play is your philosophy of how you want to create those gaps, create those scoring opportunities. And you saw a pattern of play there from Duluth, that they were working fly half to another runner off. Then the flanker comes in, picks and goes. Then they run a couple of short balls, and then they do that over again until there's space somewhere, whether it's out wide or in tight, and then they exploit it. And that's what happened. Buntrock up to get it, goes in, he's taken down. by Rapine. DeRoche. And out again. Now we're using, and I think that might be Lanart. But there we go now, out with Tanaka. Tanaka has Hansen with him. He sends it back in, and maybe a little bit of an early tackle, but they're gonna call just a knock forward. But Katie Wurst, these Duluth backs think they can run now.
I'm pretty sure they can. They're absolutely looking fantastic at this point. They've just picked up a head of steam, but they're also just looking up good field vision as well. And Tanaka, just the support wasn't quite there, but really credit to the Salisbury defense on that round.
We've got a player down on the field at the moment, and folks, just a reminder that D1A Rugby is USA Rugby's elite college rugby competition for men, with 40 of the country's best programs vying for a national championship. It's a can't-miss competition. Visit d1arugby.com or follow D1A on Facebook and Twitter for the latest news and updates. And that's going to come to a head certainly in the spring. And here in the fall, there's been some D1A rugby action, but the D2 rugby action has been all over the country. So many players, hundreds of players, probably thousands of players involved in college rugby at the D2 level.
There's a good shot there of Gleason and Buntrock as well just a second ago as they're tuning into referee John Stevens' face too. They're just twin towers there. Really, Coach Kachuba talks about their critical role in the set pieces, but they're also very mobile players too in loose play.
They certainly are, and then you've got 5 loose forwards roaming the field. If you can get some locks who can move. Bolstead has it, fakes it to Hansen, working a play to free Tanaka up. Tanaka is taken down, but DeRoche is there to clear out. Once again, we're working on it. Wilson. And it's stolen though. Wilson not able to keep it. Kick downfield. And it'll be a penalty. It's stolen illegally, and it will be a penalty for Duluth. You might see them kick for post at this point, with it being 24-11. Yep, this will make it a 3-score game. And Bolstad has been kicking very well so far today.
Bolstad acting like an on-field leader too and taking those easy points, understanding that they can maintain their lead and not have to work so hard to do it.
It's not about how many tries you score, it's just most points. Certainly, again, Duluth is not free and clear. They are up by 13 at the moment. The kick goes up, and it is good. And now 27-11 with about 30 minutes to go in this game.
Minnesota builds its lead.
And Minnesota-Duluth leads by 16 against Salisbury. Salisbury needs a score, certainly. Doesn't necessarily have to be a try.
If your coaches Robert David and Bill Kresh here for the Salisbury team, just getting their team back to the point where they had good ball possession would be helpful. We've seen a lot of more Duluth with their hands on the ball. At this point, Salisbury has to get it back.
Hyman makes the tackle on his own kick, tackles DeRoche. Ball comes loose. Buntrock rescues it. And Freeman. And then kick downfield. It's a big kick. Kuhn is under it. Gets it to Rodriguez. And out to Caffrey. And kick downfield. A nice little grubber kick. And really there's not much they could do except kick it back. Martin had to kick it back. And again, Rodriguez. Now he's got Gasper with him. But not a great pass. And almost kind of a scary pass because it ended up being taken down to the deck. And that was flanker Joel Henry, who is a little bit frustrated with himself, but maybe he shouldn't be because that was a high pass above his head and he needed to sort of grab it and get himself ready to be hit. So the passing skills have to be precise at this level, with the best teams being able to take space away, rush up into your face, and hit you hard.
Gasper just putting a little bit too much mustard on that one.
That adrenaline burst will happen.
It's important really to just manage your energy level at the playoffs. It's not the same as playing in your backyard here.
And so out to Bolstad again, looking for Blanhard. But stolen, no releasing the ball carrier. It's a classic penalty that we've been seeing when a defender thinks that he's got a ball carrier isolated. He goes too quickly to get that steal. And in the end, though, that they fumbled the quick tap, and it's going to be a scrum to Salisbury. So over-eagerness on both sides.
Really just talking about having some poise when changes in possession come up. We'll take a look here again. He makes the call. He goes to make the quick tap. Just doesn't actually go through the mark there. I think it was.
And said, we're going to go. You didn't do it right. We're going to go with the scrum.
The ball has to leave your hands when you're towing the ball through the mark.
That's a call I'd like to see more consistently called one way or the other. We don't see it, but there we see Salisbury's moving it now. Caffey trying to get through, but again, a little bit knock-on in contact. And one of the bugaboos for Salisbury today has been lack of ball security in their back line when they're tackled. Still plenty of time, 26 minutes to go. And here we are at Furman University. This is the second National D2 semifinal. The first one went to Wisconsin-Whitewater, in the end by a fairly significant margin. But it was a game in doubt for quite some time. Ball comes out on Salisbury's side. Everyone seems to have forgotten what the offside line is. And eventually we've got a penalty holding onto the ball on the ground by Duluth. And so it will be Salisbury trying to kick into the teeth of this wind, which continues to surprise us by going up and down. So you have to time your kicking. And you can see the touch judge flag right there, just waving briskly, proudly in the air. But then it'll go slack just as soon.
We've seen a bit of a sampler platter here with the number of penalties that are being called. Not releasing the tackle, holding on. We see a number of high tackles that we've seen recently too in the previous half.
Ray Pine takes it. What a great ball from Salisbury. But in the end, it's a truck and trailer, so they didn't all stay bound. And the leading drivers were disconnected from the ball carrier, and that ends up being, that's going to be a scrum. Salisbury retreating 10 meters thinking that they'd committed a penalty, but it's really only a scrum. And that was, everything was working well for them there. The take was good, the setup was good, the drive was good, but the binding not so much. So Salisbury now has to defend a scrum. I think they've got a feeling that they might be able to put a shove on this.
It's critical that they do stay bound, or else they essentially end up obstructing any potential defender's movement.
Both packs really putting into it there. Schwartz not able to control that pass. Carroll all over him, but DeRoche is back there quickly. He picks and goes. And they lose it. Salisbury has it. Quickly back out. Mullins dummies, wriggles around. He's helped out by Gaspar. Very well done by the outside center. But they lose it. Bolstad, he fakes. Oh, he has support with him now. Tanaka, he's got 2 to beat. He's going to kick ahead. Not the best idea, and it ended up bouncing straight off the corner post. Not quite sure what the call is there. The corner post would be dead ball, and I think they're discussing that with the referee. And Bolstad had Support with him, Tanaka on the outside. Now, if Tanaka's able to kick that ball and center it in the field, that quite possibly could be a try. And instead, we're going to go back with a 22-meter dropout because that kick hit the corner post and thus was deemed to have gone dead. Touch and goal, technically. So, Carroll. Tanaka takes it.
Not the best person to send your kick to.
No.
Tanaka's been all over the field.
Not at all. And Martin, look at the sidestepping from Martin. Look at the sidestepping from Martin again. Looking around now, he realized that the dead end had shown itself. Matt Martin turned around. And there we go with Wilson. Oh, no, that wasn't Wilson, because Wilson's standing out waiting for a pass. And all that's struggling in the breakdown. We've seen so many turnovers come quickly. Back and forth, and that's what happened here. Penalty. And we're going to march off another 10, I think, for back chat. That's usually what that is, either that or throwing the ball away. Duluth players getting a little bit frustrated that they're not able to do everything they want to in the ruck. The kick, though, does not make touch. Not a great pass. Bolstad is there to rescue it. Hansen, he's isolated a little bit. Gaspar tries to tackle him. Does just enough to slow him down. Actually, that was Mullins.
Excellent leadership there by Bolstad and Hansen as well to bail their team out of a difficult situation.
And Bolstad again is just attacked quickly by Wheeler, but he wriggles out of it. Then you see how quickly the defense comes up. And there's the break. Martin, wrong foot's Gasper, but his pass is lost, and the Sharks have it again.
Bolstad so cool under pressure, really, with all the Salisbury Sharks snapping at him. He just does a fantastic job of really just making that one sidestep or another to buy himself a little bit of time.
And there you see how he's able to make so many players miss, but then realizing that it's a 1-on-5, he stops and turns around. And
the replay is Martin there too, charging upfield, so evasive between that combination of two players. Just one, couple more weapons in the arsenal here that the Fighting Penguins have at their disposal.
There's been a long debate as to what to do, possibly how to handle these scrums, but it ends up being a scrum down for Salisbury. We've got 20 minutes to go in this game, 27-11. Minnesota-Duluth leads Salisbury. Two teams that have played twice in the last few years for the national championship, here playing for a berth in the national championship. And they're moving the ball so well. Rodriguez has it. He gets it back to Caffrey. But Caffrey again, well, he was there, but Patrick Mullins went straight over the ball and put his hands on the ground, and that's going to be a penalty every single time. And ruck infractions causing problems for the Sharks.
We saw prior to that a really great scrum shove there from Salisbury, who's been benefiting from the experience from Elijah Hyman. It's his first semester with Salisbury, who's been playing rugby for 9 years. Always great to have that type of experience in the set piece play.
So the throw in for Duluth. Overthrown, rescued by Wheeler. He's still going. Pushes away another, tiptoes down the sideline. Oh, and it was always going to be a possibility and a little bit of a push. I don't know what Bolstad's problem was. He made a tackle and then pushed Wheeler over for kind of no reason, but there's the overthrow. Wheeler does so well there and he needed to cut back inside perhaps, but pushes off one tackler and is taken out as he's trying to kick the ball downfield.
I think really they just kind of got up and there was a little bit of extra physical altercation there. Maybe unnecessary.
It seemed unnecessary from Bolstad's point of view. He'd made the tackle, he'd done the job, and Wheeler turns to the assistant referee and said, aren't you going to do something about that? So one substitution, Lars Anderson goes off for Duluth. Ball lost forward again on the line out. And that's Bus, I think, the Bus. It'll be Paul Bus, the senior marketing major. And out to the wing, and now that's more like it in terms of ball handling. Kuhn.
Spoke too soon there, commentator's curse on that one, Alex.
Really is. And they have been trying to get their wings to run, and finally they're going for a run, but again, getting hit, they lose it forward.
Fantastic execution in that long cutout pass as well, too.
And there's the pass. Nice skip pass, great hands. And one more dish and not held on to.
Pretty credit for Robert Rapine there, just really outstretched. He was able to get his hands on the ball and ring in that pass. Coming up to the 15-minute mark here, Salisbury running out of time.
They need to execute, which they've not been able to do really enough. Hansen now for Duluth. Martin loses it, he's knocked it forward. And Gasper trying to rip that ball free, but they do get the advantage, they do get that scrum. And a try now, a converted try would make it 27-18, would put them within 2 scores. But it is the inability to score enough in terms of tries that has hurt Salisbury, and Salisbury's not been able to get over the try line so far this second half. Such tenacious defense. More the hallmark of these winning teams than it is their offense. Their offense is like dessert, and the main meal is really a defensive meal. And the scrum is wheeled. Scrum is wheeled successfully by Duluth, and it'll be Duluth's put in. And hands on hips by Salisbury. What happened there? They look at each other. Just not sure, but you see, this is a legal wheel because the scrum is being pushed forward, although marginally so, before they're able to wheel it around.
Minnesota-Duluth scrum anchored by 2-time All-American Lars Anderson. As a prop there.
All kinds of struggles in there. The ball is going to come out of the tunnel.
It's been an interesting scrum battle so far. Salisbury really has had the advantage at some points, and then it's gone back to Duluth.
And Jacob Fazio, the hooker for Salisbury, is just sort of rotating his shoulders a little bit. But it's, I mean, that kind of battle is just really enjoyable, and we're going to get down to it. Fazio actually, even though he's number 2, I think he's actually switched out. They put Wheeler in at hooker now, and they've got Fazio in at prop.
Fazio is a conflict resolution major. He's probably thinking, hey, can we just talk this out, guys? Come up with a different way. We've been beating each other up all day.
Everybody going in on this one. A huge shove, and it'll be eventually popping up and collapsing by Salisbury. A penalty for Duluth.
Duluth just applying the pressure, and Salisbury feeling the heat.
That is what it's all about up front. Apply that pressure. And Eli Hyman asking for a little bit of clarification as to what's going on there. Certainly he was struggling a little bit. So, a good take. Butt rack takes it to go further. And one of the players loses his shirt for Salisbury. DeRoche goes forward. Bolstead has it.
The jersey came off because Duluth's player had a handle on it. Just ripped it right off and play goes on.
And so Duluth still working on it, not really getting anywhere at the moment. DeRoche, though, changes that a little bit. A little bit of a half break. And then the kick, a high ball, Hansen chasing it. I don't even know where it is. He's waiting for somebody to catch it. Rodriguez does just that. But the drive over from Duluth. And they win it. Gleason.
Unlucky, it's such a great high ball taken by Mike Mullins, but Duluth so quick to recycle and get it back.
There's Buntrock surging forward. Bolstad getting it out to Petrushka. Back again comes Gleason.
That's Sam Freeman, the hooker, slow to get up. He's grabbing his shoulder there.
And it's all about the forwards. Noah Alm, the substitute prop, also getting involved. And that was just really good, brutal forward play from Duluth. Eating up clock time, eating up energy, eating up territory.
Looks like Freeman's getting some attention here from the medical staff.
And don't forget to come back and watch USA Rugby TV tomorrow, where we have 3 championship games. So at 11 a.m. Eastern time, we'll see Davenport against Winona State in the Women's Division II Fall Championship. And then at 1 p.m. Eastern, Women's Division I Fall Championship Final, Air Force versus University of Connecticut, a rematch of the 1993 Women's D1 Final. It's kind of interesting. And then 3 p.m. will be the Men's National Division II Final, Wisconsin-Whitewater against one of these 2 teams that we're watching right now. At the moment, up 27-11. Duluth looks like they might be the team, but things can change in a hurry. And Duluth pressuring again in the corner. They really feel like they've got something going in the scrum. Referee has a look at what's going on and will call for a line out.
Be interesting to see if Freeman chooses to take the throw. Actually, I believe it's Salisbury's ball.
Salisbury's ball. Good take. Salisbury has it. They control it. They have so far to go, though. Got to kick it, even against the wind. It's loose.
As Bolstead does great to collect that ball on the bounce.
And Gasper had a great chase, but then as he was getting out of that ruck and getting back on side, the ball just sort of bounced in front of him and he kicked it back on his side. Well, that's a penalty because he's playing the ball from an offside position. So here, some discussion among the Duluth players as to what to do, whether they should kick for points. And that's exactly what they're going to do.
Certainly feel that Bolstead has the range here. The earlier kick that was about maybe 20 meters closer, he booted the ball past the scoreboard that we have here. So certainly a makeable kick for him.
And why kick for points here? They're up by 16, which is a 3-score lead, but it really comes down to conversions. Let's say you give up 3 tries and 1 conversion. Well, that would put you behind, but you get this penalty over, then you're forcing them to kick 2 conversions on their 3 tries.
Also looking just to wait out the clock as well, too. Let those seconds tick away.
Kick is up. It's long enough, but it is to the right. It is not over, and so Salisbury looking for the quick kick. And in the end, they tried for a quick dropout, and they failed. They ended up just sort of nudging it. I'm not even sure if he actually successfully kicked it, and it's going to be a scrum to Duluth as a result. One of the strangest things you see is this is something that they ask for players to do something like a quick 22, but they're not quite sure exactly what to do about that. And you see players just sort of panic a little bit, and they end up doing something like they do a tap when it should be a drop kick.
And referee Stevens rightly called that he actually missed the ball trying to kick through.
And said that's going to be a scrum. So Connor Gleason goes off after a really strong game for Minnesota-Duluth. Derek Doherty comes on to replace him. It's been a big effort from Gleason. Looked like he was limping a little bit as he went off the field. But now look at this attacking opportunity for Duluth. A massive weak side, if you want to call it that. And DeRoche picks up, and he's gone. Goes through 4 players, makes them all tackle him. Quick ball out. Martin, well, he's all alone. Cuts back in. Doherty is the guy there to rescue him and help him out.
Martin was isolated, but he did really well to keep his feet, just with some evasive play.
Martin paid for it. He's got a little bit of a cramp, trying to do something about that. DeRoche again. Goes, no one there really clearing out for Duluth, but they get it ball quickly. Hansen sending it all the way out there to Lenhart. But there's going to be a penalty. He doesn't get the handle on it, and we're going to go all the way back to a penalty. The signal. Referee John Stevens told me that I may miss a couple of his signals. I'm sure it was a good call, but it is a penalty against Salisbury, and once again, they can just take time off the clock as much as anything else.
Luke DeRoche tried to take the ball forward and ran into a school of Sharks there. Really wasn't much that he could do. That's
true. That was a high tackle penalty there. Tap given to Tapio, Billy Tapio for Duluth. Bolstead swarmed upon, but rescues the ball. DeRoche again. Slow ball coming out. DeRoche once more just picks and goes. Nothing, they don't have to do anything else. They just have to continue to challenge that defense. And another penalty, not rolling away, right in front of the posts. And they're gonna go for goal.
Should be a fairly easy kick here for Bolstead, who's been on the mark. Even in the more difficult kicks, had the distance, not quite the accuracy on the last attempt.
Well, Katie, we talk about finishing. What about finishing a game? And it seems to me that Minnesota-Duluth is doing an excellent job of finishing off this game, not trying to do too much, and really working to make sure that whatever they do takes time off the clock. And as you see in the replay, they're just picking and going, and then eventually tempting Salisbury to not roll away, as you see right there, rolling right on top of the ball.
See, once you get yourself in the driver's seat with this, it's about starting to consider how you can make substitutions and decisions. Playing 2 games in 2 days that are at this high level, it really is about survival as well, too, and making those good tactical decisions for the coaching staff.
The kick is up and good. Bolstad has bolstered his team's lead up to 30-19 now, 4 minutes to go, and frustration certainly settling in for Salisbury. They have not been able to get any points this second half. They've really not been able to connect on their attacking moves. They've had them, and they've had opportunities, but it just seems like they just can't get the handle on the ball.
See some substitutions coming in for both sides.
See freshman Alex Seymour coming on for Salisbury. Oh, and there is a catch on the fly. I think that was Rapine. Fazio now for Salisbury. Out we come. Mullins, Gaspar. Gaspar has the ball ripped out of his hands, trying to do too much. And Duluth has it now, knocked forward by Salisbury. And again, a movement where you saw a player trying to score a try and something that he didn't need to. Look at that catch on the fly, though. A really good start for Salisbury when they weren't able to build on it.
Rapine certainly not for lack of effort there. Getting himself across the 10-meter mark and fielding the ball in air. Duluth took momentary lapse.
You really cannot let that restart hit the ground. You've got to try and get someone under it. There with about 2.5 minutes to go here in this semifinal. Salisbury looks like time is not their friend. Big shove from the Salisbury pack. They may have stolen this one, which they have. And Rodriguez, the kick ahead. And this is what they do. But if you are a smart team with a little bit of poise, you can handle that kind of kicking attack. Duluth has done enough. Consolidating a little bit, and a penalty in the ruck.
Interesting decision to kick the ball ahead after stealing it against the head. Did well to chase it down and apply pressure there too. But as you said, really this Duluth team does have, we've seen their first half was just so much up-tempo energy, and now what they're doing is really choosing to slow down and make sure that they're making good, solid decisions and letting the clock wind out. Really showing the depth in terms of how they can change up their style to suit whatever's needed for the environment that's happening on the match.
Certainly, and one of the aspects of the environment is they have a game tomorrow. And they have a game against a formidable opponent. It'll be the #1 and #2 team who had ranked, Golf Rugby Report had them ranked #1 and #2 all fall. There's no reason to move them around. And they will be meeting in the final tomorrow, almost for certain. Well, really, I think we can say for certain it's less than a minute to go. Penalty to Salisbury, but they need to score 3 times. Rodriguez looking for a little bit of room on the inside. He finds some of it. A pick and go.
Salisbury so close to the line there.
That was Arrigo. Arrigo is coming close. And that is a try. A try for Salisbury. Didn't see who took it, but Carroll drop kicks it over quickly. That's smart play too. In the sense that if you're going to get, you need more time, don't waste it taking the conversion kick. And there it is. There was the pick and the try.
What?
And right at the back of it, he just picked it up and touched it down. Nobody else was there. And I believe
it's a nice consolation prize there for
right.
Salisbury. A great way to end some pretty fierce rugby we've seen from both sides. Ending on a high note, really important too, you know, to get yourself all the way to this level of play and then to come just a little bit short. Always good to finish at least playing go forward ball.
Well, they're not going to capitulate. They certainly won't. And we see them going again. Rodriguez with the break. And again with the surge up the right wing. trying to clear that out. Penalty against Duluth, not releasing the tackled player. And another 10 meters. Duluth has to be careful here not to get themselves into any kind of card trouble. Card with a D. And Rodriguez, a late pass and almost intercepted by Schwartz. It'll be a knock forward, but that is the ball game. 30-18, Minnesota-Duluth. The toughest game they played all year for certain. But they are on to the national final. Salisbury will, for the third time this season, play their longtime rivals Towson for third place. But Katie Wurst, Minnesota-Duluth, as you said, struck quickly, but when they needed to put a clamp on this game, they certainly did that.
Just showing some great decision making in addition to so much great talent in terms of using the kicking game when needed. But Salisbury, credit to them for such great physical play, and we're certainly in for a fantastic bunch of contests for tomorrow.
And don't forget tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern time, the women's D2 fall final, Davenport against Winona State. 1 p.m. Eastern time, the women's D1 fall final, Air Force versus UConn, and then Whitewater against Duluth at 3 p.m. Eastern, men's D2 final. And here we see the pick and go try from Salisbury. That was there. The massive hit from Gasper shows the physicality of this game and how it was throughout the game. And then a crucial try from DeRoche at the end of the first half that gave them some breathing room. And then really it was about fixing the game. Bolstad with a penalty. That great take. Those little moments of brilliance from Salisbury, that little things that were going to work for them, but they didn't quite finish it off. They did get a try at the end. Deserved for the amount of effort they put in, Katie.
Just a credit to the effort for really the Salisbury team never giving up, but just really today was Minnesota-Duluth day. Great finish to a good match.
And so Minnesota-Duluth will play Whitewater tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. And we are going to wrap it up here at Furman University. For USA Rugby TV, I'm Alex Goff from Goff Rugby Report. I'm with Katie Wurst. Thanks so much for everyone in the truck and helping us, and all our cameramen and the producers. And we will see you tomorrow.